Hey, welcome back, and if you're new here, I'm really glad you found this video, because what I'm about to share with you might completely change the way you train forever. But first, I need to ask you something. Have you ever had one of those workout sessions where everything just clicks? You're pushing out reps like it's nothing, your muscles feel strong, your mind is locked in, and you think, okay, this is my baseline. And then, a week later, you're doing the exact same workout, same exercises, same sets, and it feels like you're moving through cement? Here's the real question: what if that wasn't a bad day? What if your body was actually trying to tell you something, and you just didn't know how to listen? And here's the one that might blow your mind the most: what if the key to your best calisthenics gains isn't in a new program, a new diet, or a new supplement, but in understanding what's already happening inside your body every single month? Because today, we are talking about cycle syncing for calisthenics, specifically, how to train smarter by understanding the difference between your follicular phase and your luteal phase, and how aligning your workouts to your cycle can help you build more strength, recover faster, and stop training against your own biology. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with the basics. Cycle syncing is the practice of adjusting your training, nutrition, and recovery based on where you are in your menstrual cycle. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking: isn't my cycle just a monthly inconvenience? And I hear you. That's literally what we've been taught. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Your menstrual cycle is actually a performance tool, a built-in biological rhythm that affects your hormones, your energy, your strength, your pain tolerance, your mood, and even how efficiently your muscles use fuel. Researchers have been studying this for decades. And what they've found is remarkable: the hormonal changes that happen across your cycle don't just affect how you feel emotionally. They directly impact muscle protein synthesis, joint laxity, cardiovascular output, and neuromuscular performance. In simple terms, your body is literally a different performance machine depending on what phase of your cycle you're in. And for calisthenics athletes, people who rely on body weight control, skill, strength-to-weight ratio, and neuromuscular coordination, this is incredibly important information. Because calisthenics isn't just lifting a bar. It's muscle-ups. It's handstands. It's pistol squats, front levers, planche progressions. These movements demand precision. And training the same way every single day of your cycle? That's like trying to drive a Ferrari at top speed on every type of road, ice, mud, gravel, and highway, without ever adjusting your driving. Your cycle has 4 phases: menstrual, follicular, ovulatory, and luteal. Today, we're going deep on the 2 that matter most for your calisthenics performance: follicular and luteal. The follicular phase begins on day 1 of your period, yes, while you're still bleeding, and it runs all the way to ovulation, which typically lands around day 13 to 15 of your cycle. Here's what's happening hormonally: estrogen is rising. And estrogen, my friends, is your best friend when it comes to performance. Estrogen has anabolic properties, meaning it actually supports muscle building. Studies have shown that estrogen enhances muscle protein synthesis, improves collagen production in tendons and ligaments, and increases your neuromuscular efficiency, which is a fancy way of saying your brain-to-muscle communication gets sharper. At the same time, testosterone, yes, females also produce testosterone, also sees a small but meaningful spike right around ovulation. And that combination of rising estrogen plus a testosterone peak creates what I like to call your biological superpower window. During this phase, research shows women tend to experience higher pain tolerance, so those brutal calisthenics burnout sets feel more manageable. Faster muscle recovery, meaning you can handle higher training frequency. Improved coordination and reaction time, clutch for skill-based movements. More stable energy, so your sessions have better endurance and quality. So what does this mean for your calisthenics training? This is the phase where you go all in on strength training and skill acquisition. This is the time to push your max effort strength sets, work on those heavy progressions, try for a new PR in your push-up to 1 arm progression, finally drill that muscle-up transition, increase training volume and frequency, your body can recover faster. So if you normally train 4 days, you might bump to 5 during this window. Practice your hardest skill work, handstand pressing, back lever progressions, planche holds. Your motor learning is enhanced right now, meaning skills actually stick better. Add intensity to your pulling work, weighted pull-ups, archer pull-ups, skin the cat, go there now. Think of your follicular phase as construction season. Your body is primed to build muscle fibers, neural pathways, new skills. You're not just working out, you're actually making lasting adaptations faster during this window than any other time of the month. And please, don't waste this phase on low-intensity fluff. If you've been playing it safe every week just in case, you're literally leaving gains on the table. Okay, pause for a second, because we're about to get into the part that most people completely ignore. If the follicular phase is your power window, what happens when it ends? Does your training just fall off a cliff? Should you even bother working out in the second half of your cycle? And is the luteal fatigue you feel real, or is it something you can actually train around? Stick with me, because what comes next is going to shift the way you think about your second half completely. And hey, real quick, before we dive in. If you're finding this useful so far, do me a quick favor and hit that like button right now. It genuinely helps this video reach more women who need to hear this. And if you haven't already, subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss a video. I drop new content every week on training smarter, not just harder. Share this video with a friend who's been blaming herself for those off weeks. She needs to see this. Okay, now let's get into it. Here we go. The luteal phase runs from ovulation to the start of your next period, roughly day 15 to day 28. And this is the phase that gets the worst reputation in fitness culture. I feel bloated. I'm exhausted. My workouts are terrible this week. Sound familiar? And look, I'm not going to gaslight you. The hormonal shifts of the luteal phase are real, and they do affect your performance. But here's what nobody tells you. The luteal phase isn't a performance killer. It's a performance redirect. Let's talk about what's actually happening. After ovulation, progesterone rises dramatically. Progesterone is a hormone that prepares your body for potential pregnancy, and as a side effect, it has some significant impacts on your physiology. Core body temperature rises by about 0.3 to 0.5 degrees Celsius. This affects endurance performance and makes you feel hotter during workouts. Your body shifts its fuel preference. Instead of burning carbohydrates first, your body during the luteal phase preferentially burns fat for fuel, and it becomes more protein catabolic, meaning you break down muscle tissue more easily if you're not eating enough. Joint laxity increases. Your connective tissue becomes slightly more relaxed, which increases injury risk if you're going all out on explosive or high-impact moves without proper warm-up. Cardiovascular efficiency decreases slightly. Your heart rate and perceived exertion run higher for the same workload. Sleep quality can drop, especially in the late luteal phase, which compounds recovery. And here's the one everyone knows, PMS symptoms can show up in the last 7 to 10 days. Mood fluctuations, bloating, breast tenderness, headaches, and low motivation. So yes, there's a lot going on. But here's the game-changing reframe. The luteal phase is not asking you to stop training. It's asking you to train differently. Because while your maximum power output and coordination are slightly reduced, your body during the luteal phase is actually excellent at something else entirely, and that's muscular endurance, hypertrophy-style training, and deep recovery work. Here's your luteal phase calisthenics game plan. Shift from max effort strength to hypertrophy rep ranges. Instead of going for your hardest 3 to 5 rep sets, aim for moderate difficulty at 8 to 15 reps with controlled tempo. The time under tension approach works beautifully here. Prioritize isometric and eccentric work. This is your best phase for things like slow negative pull-ups, long L-sit holds, wall handstand static holds, and deep stretch-focused movements. Progesterone's effect on connective tissue actually makes this ideal for getting deep into positions, just with control, not aggression. Lower your session intensity but protect your volume, don't stop training. Just pull the intensity back by about 20 to 30%. Your body will still adapt. In fact, studies show that muscle hypertrophy can still occur in the luteal phase. Your body just needs a slightly different stimulus to get there. Increase your protein intake. Because your body is more catabolic during this phase, you need to eat more protein to protect your muscle. We're talking 2.0 to 2.4 grams per kilogram of body weight. Don't undereat during the luteal phase thinking it'll help with the bloat. It won't. It'll just cost you muscle. Use this phase for mobility and technique refinement. The slight increase in joint flexibility is actually useful when you channel it right. Deep hip mobility, thoracic opening, shoulder prep work, these become more accessible. Polish your handstand form, clean up your squat mechanics, work on your skin the cat positioning. Prioritize your sleep and recovery rituals, magnesium glycinate before bed, limiting caffeine in the late afternoon, getting 7 to 9 hours. Your recovery is the training during the luteal phase. Protect it like it's your workout. The women who understand this don't just survive their luteal phase, they use it as a strategic recovery and hypertrophy block that sets them up to explode in their next follicular phase. Let me give you a simple framework you can start applying this week. Week 1, days 1 to 7, menstrual into early follicular, energy may be low in days 1 to 2. Honor that. Use these days for light movement, yoga, walking, or easy calisthenics flow. By days 4 to 7, you'll feel the energy returning. Start ramping up with moderate sessions. Week 2, days 8 to 14, peak follicular/ovulation, this is your power week. Maximum training volume. Maximum intensity. Target your strength goals, skill PRs, and high-frequency sessions. Your recovery is fast. Your coordination is sharp. Go get it. Week 3, days 15 to 21, early luteal, transition your training. Keep volume but reduce intensity. Shift to hypertrophy rep ranges, controlled tempo, isometric work. Eat more protein. Start protecting sleep. Week 4, days 22 to 28, late luteal, deload intelligently. Active recovery, mobility, technique work. Listen to your body. This is not the week to test your max muscle up. This is the week to prep your body for the next power cycle. So here's where I want to leave you, with a few final questions to sit with. If you've been training the exact same way every single week, ignoring your cycle entirely, how much performance are you actually leaving on the table? What if your bad weeks weren't failures, but simply phases you hadn't learned to work with yet? And what would your calisthenics journey look like 6 months from now if you started training with your biology instead of fighting it? That last one, I want you to really think about that. Because here's the truth, most women in fitness are handed programs designed around male hormonal rhythms, flat, linear, the same every day. And then they're told to push harder when they feel off. Or they feel guilty when they can't hit their numbers in the second half of their cycle. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are cyclical, and that is one of the most powerful things you can be, once you understand it. Cycle syncing your calisthenics training isn't about doing less. It's about doing the right thing at the right time, and that precision is what separates athletes who plateau from athletes who keep growing. If this opened your eyes, drop a comment below. I'm going to sync my cycle, so I know this landed. And if you know a woman in fitness who's been struggling with inconsistent performance and has no idea why, share this video with her. It might be exactly what she needs. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, because I've got a full follow-up video coming where I'm going to walk you through a complete 4-week cycle-synced calisthenics program you can actually follow week by week. I'll see you in the next one. Keep moving, keep growing, and start training like the cyclical powerhouse.